All right. Hello and welcome back to our segment on Who's Even Listening. Bonus content here, little Redacted Reality. This will be episode number 3.
Yes.
In Redacted Reality in our playlist. So it's obviously this is under Who's Even Listening. You can there's a playlist when you on our mental medicine page. There's be a bunch of different playlists. Just trying to explain this for people so people can understand all of it. So basically you can tune into this. This will be one of the segments coming out. It will alternate between Chew on This. They'll come out every other week on Mondays at around 5 o'clock on Mondays. So you can tune in for that. And also you get on Fridays, you're going to get the top 3 and 3 sports segment, always coming out on Fridays at 5 as well. So, and obviously during the week you have the podcast as always coming out on Wednesdays. And we're actually going to change the premiere from midnight to actually 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. That'll be the new podcast drop time for everybody as well. So hopefully I'll announce that in other times as well. But for people to know that's going to come out at 6 now instead of midnight. So just to give people a heads up. So obviously for episode number 3 of Redacted Reality, we got we got 2 different ones here we're going to bring up. So it's a little interesting episode here. We're going to try this out, and we got some pretty off the wall ones here. So we're gonna start it off with the first part here. We're gonna dive into the first one. I'm gonna read a little synopsis, and then me and Saki are gonna kind of have some banter back and forth talking about it. So we're gonna dive right into this first one real quick. All right. So Project A119, the U.S. plan to nuke the moon. During the height of the Cold War, the U.S. Air Force drew up a top-secret proposal called Project A119. The idea: detonate a small nuclear bomb on the moon. Not for science, but for spectacle. After the Soviets shocked the world with Sputnik 1, American brass wanted a cosmic fireworks show that would prove U.S. supremacy once and for all. Physicists, including a young Carl Sagan, years before Cosmos fame, was asked to model the brightness of the blast and whether it would be visible from Earth. They concluded it would be a brief, eerie flash over the lunar surface. What they did not fully model was the PR nightmare, radiation debris on the moon, and the thought of mankind's first step in space being a literal explosion. Ultimately, saner heads prevailed. The plan was shelved in 1959, replaced by the far more inspiring Apollo program. Still, Project A119 shows just how far fear and pride can twist logic. When diplomacy fails, someone in a bunker inevitably says, "What if we just blow up the moon?" Yeah. So, very interesting. So, what's your first initial reaction? I know you kind of heard a little bit about it before we got into it.
My first initial reaction is, why the fuck are you trying to blow up the moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest.
Completely agree.
Because, let's say that they did do it and something went wrong. Yeah. Now you got a hole in the moon or a chunk taken out of the moon. That could mess with all
Yeah, we don't really know the repercussions.
Yeah, we don't know the repercussions that would have on Earth.
Correct.
So, it's...
We can think we do. Yeah, that's for sure. But do we truly? Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's the first takeaway. And I'm huge on Carl Sagan. I always thought that was interesting that's who was involved in that, because if you know Carl Sagan depicting that's crazy. That's earlier Carl Sagan, because then he ended up kind of maybe what made his mind shift. I haven't really dug into see him talk about that incident per se, like that incident exactly, but I know his whole mind shift, you can look up videos of his whole perspective was that we're a speck of dust. Let's make the world a better place. Let's let's look at the big picture. It's not about these little differences we have. It's about bigger than us, and that was his whole depiction. So it's interesting that he was the one in on that when he's, that would to me be something that would be against his morale in a sense. Yeah.
I mean, you can say that. I mean, and maybe it was, but also it's the government.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? He's going to have to tell him, it's one of those situations probably didn't have a choice. They just approached him because they knew he knew everything about astrology. Yeah.
Yeah, they probably just came to him and they were like, we need you.
That's a good point. I didn't really think, good point. Good point.
I mean, can you really say no in those situations, especially back then?
That's a very good point. Very valid point.
Let's be honest. But I mean, it's just kind of crazy because the government, the whole purpose of them wanting to even do that was just to show that they could. Yeah. There was no scientific reasoning. They just wanted to one-up Russia and be like, we nuked the moon.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
No, just the ego.
What it was. Yeah.
That's really all it is. Sad to say, that's, I think, half of the warfare we have. Like you said, it's just a pride thing. It's I got to be better than you.
I think that it relates so much to right now because it's just, what is our government willing to do?
Yeah.
Because they seem very... I mean, this whole episode with the second one that we're going to talk about, too, is like the government is just all over the place. They're willing to do some very dirty stuff.
Yeah, the extents that they're willing to take things to is mind-boggling. Yeah, that's really the best way to put it. And obviously, you can bring this to not just ours. Obviously, we all bring up the Nazi experiments and stuff. I mean, you can go deep into that. I mean, the lengths that they went to test some of this stuff, I mean, is insane. Yeah. I mean, like you said, some of these governments truly go to, I mean, just in a sense, like satanic ways of kind of figure out things, and it's kind of the way it is. But it's sad, man. It really is, because like you said, there's just it's a track record and a pattern of not just our country but many countries, like you said, abusing the power and really trying to, in a sense, make sacrifices to gain more. Really, and I hate to say it that way, but it's kind of what it is. I mean, you're like, all right, well, we killed this many people, we're going to be able to do this, but the way we weigh things is just so off balance. But
because also like, you got to think, what am I trying to say? If the government's willing to nuke the moon, what else are they willing to do? Yeah,
it makes you correct
because they've tried to, they thought about doing that. They did nuke in the Pacific Ocean. Yeah. And there's been shown to be repercussions from that. Correct. I mean, there's a lot of sea life in there that's kind of mutated. Yeah. And,
I mean, you can bring it to the fact it wasn't a nuke per se, but even when we dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, it wasn't the same level, but even that just had terrible repercussions. And that wasn't even close to the level that we have now of the capability. So, yeah, it's scary, man. Like you said, though, it just does make you think, what lengths, what is the line, and for that, and you have to almost think there is none, and that's the scary part.
Do you think that there might have been a other reason that they decided not to nuke the moon? Because I did see in there that they thought that by nuking the moon they might be able to push out life that might be hidden inside. Did you read that?
Interesting. No, I didn't see that part. No, interesting. No, we'll have to look into that.
So, do you think there could be an ulterior motive to not willing to
that's
do
a good point too. Like you said, it could have been one of them things too, where they, get to the point where they had, at that point when they suggested it, didn't have the information at their hands, and they maybe got information that kind of steered them off of it. Like you said, don't know what it would be, but it could be a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of variables there. It could be just that, hey, we don't think we could even pull it off. We might miss, or it might blow. I mean, it could be anything. It said this one was, they called it off. It was during the height of the Civil War, but they called it off. The plan was shelved in 1959.
It was shelved in
1959. So
that's right. I mean, when did Roswell happen?
Roswell was, God bless. That was, 40s, 30s, 40s, I believe. I have to look. It might have been, hold up.
I mean, that's...
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's just it's interesting to think about, just because
it was in 58, so it was only for a year that it lasted, and so I mean, it literally was barely a year that it was running. I mean, I was trying to figure out when it started.
Maybe something came to them. I thought so. Don't nuke the moon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like at this point you have to almost think that they just had information that probably really was like, ooh, I don't know if we should do that, because like you said, I mean, it also could have just been that they didn't think it would have the impact that they thought it would too. I mean, who knows? I mean, like you said,
what impact are you even going for at that point?
For example, people could view that, for example, they might have wanted to view it as power or something, in which I feel like it could be viewed as power, but it also could just be viewed as honestly, just rambunctious. Yeah. I mean, to me, it doesn't even feel like. I think it's not I don't know how people would view. That's what I'm trying to say. People could perceive that in many different ways. You know what I mean? From someone, I don't know if that would just be to everyone viewed as oh, that's a power move. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just don't know how everybody would take that.
I mean, there would definitely be people against it, for sure.
Because you could have also other people bringing up the theory of where, say, the U.S. say they do it, but nobody believes them that they did it, and people think it was an outer force or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? You could have that theory, too, where U.S. is selling it as they did it, and they may have done it, but no one is buying that. I mean, I'm not saying that's true, but that could be a part, too, to be honest. Yeah. Because, other people could be like, no, that couldn't have been. No, it had to be an alien. Whatever. I mean, whoever, but... Yeah. Okay. I think we're pretty good on that. We can go dive deeper. People are interested, but that one is like I said, that one's just kind of broad. You can go a lot of ways with that one. Like you said, that's like you said. What's next at that point is really the biggest question I have. Like you said, where does it end?
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive into part 2 here. We had to say this one for number 2 because it's the climax. So we always, obviously, this is the climax of the show. So welcome to the climax. All right. Operation Midnight Climax, the CIA's LSD brothel experiments. For if you're under 18, I don't think you should listen to this, so please tune out from this one. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the CIA was running an operation that sounded like a rejected madman subplot. Under the wider MK Ultra mind control program, the agency built fake brothels in San Francisco and New York, hiring sex workers on government payrolls. Their job? Lure unsuspecting men into apartments wired with one-way mirrors where agents dosed them with LSD without consent and watched the results while taking notes and sipping martinis. The goal was to see whether hallucinogens or sexual manipulation would loosen tongues for interrogation. What they mostly learned was that LSD made people unpredictable and the CIA's ethics had left the building. The project ran through the early 60s before being exposed in congressional hearings decades later, cementing Operation Midnight Climax as one of the strangest scandals in U.S. intelligence history. What are you feeling about that, Si? That's pretty weird in a sense.
Well, like I said in the first part, the government is willing to do some very shady,
outlandish
stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, we've already known about MK Ultra and stuff since about the 70s, when like all those files were released after Watergate, I believe.
Oh yes, it's true. Well, true. I forgot about that with Watergate. Yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, we knew that all this was going on. We know about how MK Ultra is connected to Charles Manson. Mm. So, I mean, it's not a surprise that they started off by just using it on random people just to see the effects.
It's crazy.
And I mean, it's a very interesting way to do it because do you know what the term honeypot is?
I've heard of that. I don't know what it means though.
A honeypot is a government planted female that is used to basically create a relationship with someone just to get information.
So kind of like a catfish in a sense, but not
in a
really.
sense, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Like they basically used honeypots at the time.
Yeah, poor Winnie the Pooh, man. They're having to use him in such a bad way. I feel bad for him, man. That's disappointing. Anyway, go on. Poor Winnie, dude.
Well, yeah, Winnie was stuck in one of those brothels.
He was a great guy. Yeah. Poor guy. Man. Damn, so what a hot take. Winnie the Pooh.
He was in there.
That's what the tree was. Yes.
Yeah, Piglet too.
God. All right, keep going.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Back on topic.
Anyway.
I mean, they used all the females there as honeypots because it's a brothel, so you go in for sex. That's what you're there for.
Yeah.
So they used them. They doused the guys. I don't remember how it said they did it, but they would douse them instead of having them ingest it. So it would just kind of like seep into their skin.
Correct.
And they wouldn't even know. So then they would, have their relations.
Correct.
And the female would try to see what they can get them to talk about. Just anything, basically. Just to get them to be open and honest, probably. I agree. Yeah. No, it makes sense. Like I say, when you think about it from that evil side, I mean, it makes sense. I get the perspective. Because they almost thought of it as like
it's a way for someone
as a torture method, kind of.
Yeah, it's like almost a way for, without having to do that, maybe for their eyes, to have someone open up to something without them even knowing they did it. That makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. Yeah, that's interesting. But then you have then it brings in that argument of, say for example, we always bring up the argument, say someone's under the influence and they make a decision. Sometimes it can be redacted in a sense. You could, in a sense, you could, obviously you wouldn't be able to prove it. It's dumbed down in the experience, so they're going to go to snook it. But, it's you can't really use that against someone when you're basically on drugs. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just, that's interesting. Yeah, that's just, like you said, just goes back to the evil methods that people, well, not people, but people too, but that the government is willing to go to is like I said, mind blowing. It's sad. It's sad, man. I mean, it's I don't know, man. I don't know. It's one of them things where you read that and that's one of them things where you're just both of those where you're just dude, what is wrong with us? That's just the first thing you can think to yourself, man. It's like, what are we doing? Like, that's at least my thought. I'm sure that's not everybody's thought, but
and I'm pretty sure it said it went on for like nearly 10 years too before they shut it down.
Yeah, like, for that one, because the other ones, the obviously Nuke was quick. Obviously, but that one, it said it said the 60s. It said the 60s. Yeah.
So like, and that's the thing is like they started to like basically try and like burn all the evidence in the 70s. So I mean, that's when they knew like shit was about to go down. I mean.
No, insane, dude, insane. No, those were wild. Those were wild, man. No way around it. But like you said, I think the gist of those two, why they were put together, is that, like you said, it's like the lengths that from either blowing up, like the lengths are different. Like they're obviously the measurements are different. Obviously that one's like physical, you're blowing up something. The other one's more like mind control. But there's two different avenues. But it's just like you said, no matter what it is, they're always just willing to do whatever it is. It's crazy, man. It's just sad. That they take, really take advantage of people in that sense, It's sad, man. But, all right, anything you want to add to any of those, and we're going to close it up here with this remark?
I mean, not too much. I did read that the head of the Project Climax, I don't remember what his name was. It said it down there at the bottom, but
okay.
He got very into the LSD apparently. Started having his own little parties and doing basically his own Project Climax.
Interesting. So kind of like a Hugh Hefner. Out there. Okay. So I'm sorry, it wasn't Hugh Hefner, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sounds like kind of Hugh Hefner vibe there.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. Well, all we can say is don't do that at home. We do not recommend any of that. No, do not nuke the moon. Do not have an LSD fueled brothel.
Yeah.
Please do not.
Don't.
Please do not. And if you do, keep it to yourself. Anyway, we're going to combine these together, give you all those synopsis, close it out here. But imagine for a moment a Cold War era where the U.S. nearly lifted up the moon with a nuclear firework and the CIA ran an LSD fueled brothel in the name of national security. It sounds absurd, like the plot of a dark satire, yet Project A119 and Operation Midnight Climax were very real plans hatched in an atmosphere of fear, ambition, and scientific hubris. In one, military brass pondered nuking our lunar neighbor to one-up the Soviets. In the other, secret agents spiked unwitting citizens' cocktails and watched behind one-way mirrors as the night unfolded. This is almost comedic to a win the Cold War. We were prepared to either blow up a piece of the sky or peep on hapless Americans tripping on acid. It's a testimony of how truth can out-weird fiction when paranoia runs high. Philosophically, these two twin tales of moon bombs and madcap mind control make us reflect of the thin line between integrity and insanity. What does it say about us that in trying to protect freedom, we consider obliterating a body and violating the freedoms of our own people? There's dark humor in it. The moon thankfully survived unscathed, and the grandiose plan to shock the world gave way to uplifting Apollo, moon landing instead. Meanwhile, Operation Midnight Climax produced more embarrassment than intelligence. The only lasting climax was the public outrage when it all came out to light. In retrospect, both projects served as cautionary tales about the excess of unchecked power, a reminder that even well-funded geniuses and spies can really be in the absurd themselves, leaving future generations to shake their heads. And that's almost what happened. But that's kind of, that's basically the best way we can sum it up, is that, we can't let our power get the best of us and then, make brash, irrational decisions like that. And we all can do a hell lot of better job, even as individuals, too. And same thing with the government, to not let the greed get the best of us. That's really what it comes down to. So
I don't think it's greed.
What'd you say?
I don't think it's greed getting the best of us.
Oh.
But
what do you think it is?
I don't think we can get into that. That's for another episode. So.
Fair enough. Well, I do think a lot of it's greed and ego, in my opinion, for a lot of that. But I feel you, brother. But all right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. As always, this is Redacted Reality number 3. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that. We'll have something spicy and new for you in 2 weeks from now. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and tune into the next stuff we got coming out. So after this drops, you got 2 days and the podcast will be out. So make sure you're ready for that. And as always, spread love, spread kindness, ELE, everybody love everybody. And let's make this world a little better place for all of us to live in. And thank you again, Sock, for your takes, brother.
Yes,
and we'll see you next time.